Welcome back to another episode of Requesting Good Company. Here we are again with another Eagles win. I think this is 10 straight.
It is 10 straight.
10 straight.
10 straight dubs.
27 to 13 over the Pittsburgh Steelers, interstate rivals, uh, Big Brother, obviously.
Yeah, 10 straight in Philadelphia. Uh,
They played
Steelers haven't
state
won.
championship.
Steelers haven't won in Philly since 1965,
That's the year my dad was born.
a year before my mom was born. Just straight up dominant performance, man. This team came out yesterday with a chip on their shoulder after all the talk all week. Is it on the media? Is it on the players? Obviously, AJ after the post game last night. I don't really know. Well, I wasn't on the show with you last week, but I don't know if you really hit that in your show about if you got a chance to speak about it. Probably happened too late.
Saved it for you and me.
Yeah. So AJ comes out in the post game conference against Carolina last week, and he says that they need to work on the passing game, or they said what's going on wrong in the offense that we need to work on, and he said passing. So creates all this dust up throughout the week, and everybody, BG goes on and misspeaks about the relationship between AJ and Jalen and I think they practice on Wednesday and they both speak to the media and they just they both say it like they act like there's no issues, act like there's no problems. Me personally, I tend to agree with them, just because they're high level athletes. They know what it takes to get to a Super. A lot of people forget these guys have went on a Super Bowl run before. Like this isn't anything new. We have been doing this. So we just had a minor collapse at the end of the year last year, a major collapse rather. So we get to yesterday, and Avery. I mean, I feel like the score was closer than the game really was, honestly.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was ever in doubt the Philadelphia Eagles were going to win that game. There's been multiple people, talking spreads, talking numbers to me consistently all week. Oh,
Hmm.
this might be the one y'all lose. I, we're not afraid of the AFC North.
No,
We
no,
beat
swept them. We're the AFC North champions, if you ask me. We swept them.
Whipple.
So, and let me just remind everybody that division includes these three quarterbacks. Joe Burrow having best statistical season of his career. Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, and the two-time MVP Lamar Jackson.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we've been doing this, man. We're talking 10 weeks. We went into that bye week and everything changed, man. Everything changed. You see Jalen Carter out there. Jordan Davis goes to pick up a guy on the offensive line for the Steelers, and Jalen Carter's like, "No, we ain't helping them up. We're not helping them up." He smacked Jordan's hand away and was like, "No,
Jalen
that's
Carter.
not
We're
happening."
going to talk about Jalen Carter in this segment. Well, we can go ahead and get to it now if we want to. There was a poor the new news story. There's always a news story when it comes to Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Carter had a rough and something, not even I guess
Hmm.
a penalty for
On the punt. It was on the punt.
yeah, where he slapped the Steelers helmet.
Hmm.
It's all right. If
Yeah, you
if
you
that's
live
what
with
it's
that.
about
You
penalty,
live with that.
yeah. And
The type of player he is.
I get Nick Sirianni. He's still the head coach. He still has to hold a line. Um, but you see Jalen Carter saying to his defense, "It's on me. It's on.
Yep.
Come on, guys. Let's get out.
Hmm.
It's on me." You know,
Hmm.
I think at some point you got to kind of let it slide. But I get what Nick Sirianni's doing. Um,
Hmm.
I do like that energy though. Him, Jalen Carter, C.J. Gardner Johnson, Bond.
Hmm.
I mean, Slay a little bit. Quinion.
Nolan Smith.
I like the way that, yeah, no, I like the way we play. It's not like dirty play. It's not,
Mm.
that, but it is aggressive, and I
Oh,
like
very, very.
as a defensive player, like like you have to play aggressive to be a defensive
You
player.
gotta have an edge about you.
Yeah, you can't just be, oh, I hope you have a good day. I hope we all play good. Nah, that's not a defensive
Mhm.
kind of mindset.
Mhm.
No.
And you see that reflected all over the place on this defense. C.J. Gardner Johnson before the game, belt to ass, belt to ass. Like I love that, dude. I love that. You know how long it's been since the Eagles have had a defense like that? Everybody talks about, Jim Johnson and these vaunted defenses that we had. This defense is doing that in the National Football League right now because yesterday was the Steelers' lowest offensive output since 2010. 2010, bro. You know who they played at quarterback that game? Obviously, one would think Ben Roethlisberger. No, they played Charlie Batch and Dennis Dixon in that game.
Yikes.
Like what this defense has been able to accomplish over the last 10 weeks. I mean, they're the very best unit in football. They're better than any offense out there. They dominate, man. They've dominated everybody.
I think that what the people want as Jalen, is this what you guys wanted? Like
Hmm.
as Jalen would say,
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
I think what the people actually want is the Eagles to put up 45. We don't have to put up
Hmm.
45.
No.
We can win
We're
the
gonna run. We're gonna run. We're gonna use that old school philosophy of what it took. All the Super Bowl champions. What do the best Super Bowl champions do? They play defense and run the football, and that's what we're able to do. That's what we are built to do. We just happen to have two top 10 receivers out there as well.
but also
And the
this
balance may come. The balance may come. We got about 6 games to figure out. So,
I think the balance, I mean, this was an offensive balance kind of game for us
hmm,
yesterday. I mean, even though it didn't look like Saquon was going crazy, he wasn't. Kenneth Gainwell
hmm,
was. So
hmm,
you see what I'm saying? When I'm looking at this Eagles offense, we can throw 3 touchdowns and rush for two. We can
hmm,
throw the whole first half and then get out to Kenny Gainwell or Saquon and let them act up in the run game.
hmm.
I mean, everybody has a game. It just wasn't Saquon's game. The
Nope.
difference with this Philadelphia team is you see Jalen doing good, or you see Saquon doing good, and then the narrative is always, well, if Jalen's doing good, Saquon's not. If
Hmm.
Saquon's doing good, well, Jalen needs to throw more. Why,
Hmm.
why are we dictating how you win? Is a win
Hmm.
or not?
A win is a win to me. I don't care how we win. I do not care how we win football games. You go on these Eagles on Twitter, you go on or X, whatever, or you go on these Facebook groups, and they're just hounding Jalen the entire time. And it's like, oh, he's being carried. He's being carried. Carry yesterday. Carry yesterday.
Was
Like,
he like, yeah,
he definitely was not carried.
not at all. AJ acted up, got me amazing fantasy points last night in fantasy football. I ended up putting 225 on somebody in a playoff game. So I'm up
Hmm.
60 right now. You might as well just go ahead and count me in the championship.
Hmm.
It was just an all around good day. I think that for this Eagles team, when people compare them to the other teams that are in the NFL, the Lions defense is shredded. We'll beat them by 50. The Bills defense was never stagnant. We'll beat them by 50.
Shredded the last 2 weeks.
Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes going down. It's almost like y'all are walking, giving us a Super Bowl. And I mean, I'm not too prideful to accept it. You know, it's gonna be great. I like the way this is gonna play out. I do not like how Dallas and Washington all of a sudden want to start playing at the end of the year, but that's fine.
Hmm. I think we clinched the division with a win over Washington on Sunday. So, because they snuck away with one yesterday, Saints about got them, or else I think we would have
Third
clinched
string
the division yesterday.
third
What
string.
is it?
They played Saints third string quarterback,
Hmm.
and then they brought Rattler back in.
Hmm.
The Cowboys looking all right for real. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, a little too late, but yeah,
yeah, it's a little.
they still got to come to Philly.
They could still potentially make the playoffs.
Hmm.
I'd rather not play Washington or Dallas 3 times in a year, but it seems like that's the play. But hopefully these Lions will lose another game.
Well, we're really starting to get down to it at the end here. 3 weeks to go. I've looked at some playoff scenarios, but I wanted to take a look
We have
and
teams next. We got
see what the Lions, the Eagles, and the Vikings have in the last 3 weeks.
so the Vikings and the Lions play the last week of the season. So regardless, one of them is taking a L.
Yep,
Um, we play Washington, Dallas, then the Giants.
yep.
Hopefully, I would like to say we would get to sit somebody in the Giants game, but I doubt it. The way
And the Lions, their last three,
ears.
they play the Bears Sunday, the 49ers Monday night, and of course the Vikings. Outside of the fact that they're division games, so they're always a little tougher. I like the fact that we're at home against Dallas. I think that should be a game that we coast to a victory in. Washington will present a challenge, but I think if we come out and throw the way that we were able to throw yesterday, I think we can jump out in front of them and kind of coast to another victory. But uh, I'm feeling relatively good. San Francisco's sneaky, regardless of how they played this week. So maybe they can trip up the Lions. The Vikings play the Seahawks and the Packers and the Lions.
They're
So
gonna lose that Packers game, and then they'll turn around and beat the Lions.
yeah.
See that? That's where I would bet my money lines. Just
Hmm.
saying. Uh, how do you? Okay, let's pivot a little bit. I was thinking about this Saquon narrative about this MVP rant. You know, last night Josh Allen played a great game. Lamar Jackson also had 5 touchdowns. Um, Saquon didn't put up his numbers that people were expecting.
Hmm.
I still foresee him breaking that record, and I still foresee him being in that MVP talk. Who is your MVP, John?
So last night definitely kind of changed things. If I were giving away the MVP based on what I've seen the last 3 weeks, I'm actually going to give it to Josh Allen at this point. It's no disrespect. Saquon's still first team All Pro. That's still very meaningful thing. But Josh Allen's carrying that football team right now. I really do think he is because they're not getting much on the defensive side of the ball. I think Saquon has a case.
For
If
me,
he can break this record in the last 3 weeks, then yeah, maybe.
I believe with Josh Allen not playing any like strong defenses, and the one
Mm-hmm.
best plays he lost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right. Lamar Jackson, on the other hand,
Still right there. Still right there.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I still
Mm-hmm.
wish that the offensive player of the year would go to Joe Burrow since I have nice little chump change on that. But it's probably
um, I think I did read that Quinion is now the official leader for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm hoping that my guy Caleb Williams can trip up the Vikings tonight, which
possible.
I think is definitely possible. I don't think the Vikings defense will present as much of a challenge as the 49ers did for him, but Caleb Williams has I know this is an Eagles podcast, but Caleb Williams has he broke the NFL record for most games without an interception by a rookie.
That's pretty
So,
good.
yeah.
Oh, shout out, since we're shouting out other teams, shout out my boy Wentz for getting some playing time and getting that's that. Shout,
Man, you can actually spin a story out of that. I don't think Patrick's gonna miss much time, but uh, what if Carson just went in there and took on the Super Bowl?
I would I would be destroyed because I would hate it for us if we had to play Carson Wentz.
Uh,
Hey, Carson Wentz got God on his side. That year in
hmm.
2017, like I think it was like 65% of the Eagles team got saved.
Hmm.
Like, yikes, that would be terrible. That Quinn
Hmm.
Mitchell line was at 2100.
Oh man, you should have kept that one.
I know, but Lamar Jackson was on it for MVP plus 300.
Just to just touch going back to yesterday, just a flat out dominant performance by the Eagles, man. I'm really pleased with this team. Detroit still hasn't played. They've played one game outside all year. If we get this one seed and they come to Philadelphia, like it, we are going back to the Super Bowl. You can put me on record for that. If Detroit is playing in Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game, the Philadelphia Eagles will be in the Super Bowl.
I just truly don't foresee any team being able to beat us in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't predict any AFC teams that are just like. The problem is we've played most of them except for that.
Kansas City and Buffalo.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, we beat the next two contenders right after that with Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So, uh, and the thing about those teams too is they all play each other so close. Like it wouldn't be a thing for Denver to beat Kansas City in the playoffs if it were to happen. Like that could happen. I mean, Kansas City needed a block field goal to beat them
yeah.
earlier this year in Arrowhead. Like those teams are built very similar to each other, I think, and that's what creates close games. Like you'll see it again with Pittsburgh and Baltimore on Saturday. They're just it's gonna be close. It's gonna be physical, and I almost guarantee it's a game that's played in the teens.
Breaking
So
news just hit my Bleacher Reports. David Montgomery tours MCL.
yeah,
Hate that for him.
hmm
Dang. I don't necessarily like just beating teams when they're like injured and stuff.
yeah,
Win's a win.
they're battered, I guess, is what I've heard. Is just really really bad injured, kind of all over the defense for sure.
It's everybody in this NFL this year.
Yep, injury luck is a part of it. Injury luck is a major part of it.
I was listening to the half after the game, the coaches report, and Jalen coming in there and talking. And one of the things he said that interested me a lot was he was like,
I've always said and believed that you want to make sure that all of your tools are sharp when you need them. So when it's time to use them, you can go. And I don't think there's a doubt in that. I think frankly, there's an effort there. The approach was a little different this week, and the grass will be green where you water it. And we decided to water it, and we kind of saw the fruits of our labor in that. Obviously, we've been watering the running game a good bit, and it's kind of natural to put an emphasis on one thing and kind of take an emphasis off of another and see what you guys have kind of seen. And so, we want to just continue to be well-rounded, push to be well-rounded and water all areas.
this is in my mind when he said that he's thinking like in the future. So we know
hmm
Jalen Hurts. We know that he is a winner. He's already sharpening his passing game, his running game, his he got a broke finger. Like that was a story that hit the day before, like right before the game started. And this man is just he's got me, bro. That's all I can say.
hmm Yeah.
He's got
Uh,
me.
he the way he carries himself, the way that he leads this football team. This is obviously something that we've seen for a very long time. He commands the respect of the entire offense. He is the franchise quarterback for this football team and will continue to be for a very long time because I hate to sound like a broken record, but he's a winner, man. He's a winner. All he's done his entire life
His win
playing this game is win. He knows how to lead. He knows how to be a leader.
hard to beat.
Very hard to beat. I think I don't know how factual this statistic is. I posted it on Facebook because there sounds like it could be incorrect, but quarterbacks in NFL history with three or more separate 10-game winning streaks in their career. John Elway, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Um, One other cool thing that we did in that game yesterday. So obviously the Steelers made the decision to punt. I don't know why Tomlin made the decision to punt down 14. Offense wasn't doing anything, but they did make the decision to punt. We got the ball back with 10:29. They didn't touch the ball again. That was the longest final drive in NFL history since they've been recording how long drives take.
Yikes. His team is destined for greatness. That's what our end of our podcast usually says.
They have one goal in mind, and it is very clear, and that is to win a
The
championship.
main thing is what Jalen would say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been another episode of Requesting Good Company. Shout out John. Shout out RGC. We're back at it again. We'll be back at it again next week.